Welcome to Relationship Talk with Juanito. I am Coach Robinson, Coach Juan, aka Juanito, and I am joined today by Big G. Big G, say what's up.
Greetings and salutations, my friends.
Hey man, how you been?
Man, we having a good day today, man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Pain level at a 1 or 2 today. So we had a good day today. So I can't complain.
How's work been this week?
Hey, kill 'em. 3 days, $9,000 worth of cologne. So 3 days, kill 'em.
Oh shoot. All right, big salesman, top
Hey,
flight security.
top flight of the world, Craig.
Hey man, so I know we starting kind of late today, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the topic today. So I saw a post on Facebook that said that in today's society, relationships, the boredom in relationships is 62% of the reason why relationships are failing. And this falls ahead of betrayal and infidelity. And
Mm.
so, you know, I got to thinking about it and I kind of wanted to bring it up and talk to you about it because I think about my own relationship, right? And I've been married for 6 years. In 10 days we celebrating our 6 year anniversary. Um and for the most part, probably 340 to 350 days out of the year, we live a relatively boring life. And it's not because we necessarily can't go do things. We just choose to be at home. And even like my wife, she doesn't go out to the club. She doesn't really go do a whole bunch of things. Well, she never goes out to the club, but she doesn't really go do a whole bunch of things. And to her, she's like, I would rather just be at home, be at home in the house that we pay for, or that and be with my family, be with my kids, and just chill and relax. Because I already work, you know, full 40 plus hours a week, and so when we have the energy to go do something, we go do it. But for the most part, we live a quote unquote boring life. So do you think that stat is because, well, I have a couple of ideas, but I want to kind of get your idea on it. Do you think that stat is age specific? Do you think it's gender specific? I mean, I have my own thoughts, but I want to kind of get your thoughts on it.
Um, all of the above. We used to could say it's only for probably men and women under 40. But you know what I'm saying, after COVID, you know what I'm saying, what's the saying that everybody say after COVID now? We what? We outside. So now you got grandma outside. You know what I'm saying? You have everybody wanting to be outside now. So it's one of those things that it's now. I still do believe that it affects um from the boredom affect more women than it do men. It do affect men. Sometimes man get bored with his woman, but the majority of time a relationship is due to boredom. I would say would happen to be with the woman because she's looking for something. And anytime you see these little videos, these women talk about they shouldn't have left their man or why they left their man, and they say, I don't know, I was looking for something. What were you looking for? Now, you get on these social apps and convinced with these lies. Yes, I said it. Women be lying on here. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want the shame from this. So they're gonna lie and say, hey, I want the quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, good man. I want this. I want. In actuality, they don't. But they know if they go out there and say what they really want, they might get some kickback. And what we know about women is women do not like a lot of women do not like accountability. They do not like to be held accountable for any actions. And so let me get out here and lie. They tell lies about don't a woman has their phone with them 24/7. Now, if a woman gets on this app and says someone says something to them while they have their phone in that hand and you don't see the video of it, 95% of the time it's a lie. So when a woman tells a lot of these stories, they become, well, this person did this, and it's a lie. It's a lie. Because a woman gonna let anybody do anything wrong to a woman, and she got that camera, that phone in her hand, she gonna record.
Okay,
She gonna
so
record.
you kind of went down a path that I don't know where you kind of took that to. That was
Bring
kind
it
of,
back. I don't know, bring
yeah,
it back.
you kind of went in a whole different direction than the original question when we were talking about boredom.
Yeah.
You,
No. But that's a part of boredom.
no,
When
no.
when when
So let me. I think you kind of touched on something, but you kind of touched on something that I was going to touch on, but then you
yeah.
kind of took it in a different
Yeah,
direction. So
I know I did, but that's what I was gonna tie it back in because when things when we get bored, what do we do a lot of the time? We fabricate things. When you was a kid, when you was young, when you was a kid, and it was time you got on punishment, man, you had all kind of NBA jams in your room, dunking on the logo. Oh, I'm taking Michael. You start fabricating things. You start adding things to the picture when you're bored.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what happens when bored. A lot of things do not happen the way it seems when it's bored because you get to make up things.
okay, so what I was thinking is that um and you kind of touched on it a little bit. Social media, right? Social
Mm-hmm.
media is not we know it's not a real place, right?
Not a real
A
place.
lot a
Not a real
lot
place.
of things on social media are false perception. It's a lot of people creating false realities that don't they create these perceptions of happiness or of living an exciting life or living this extravagant life when in all actuality that's not their everyday life, right? They're only presenting the things that are exciting to them. So a perfect example would be you know um you remember I told you when my son was here back in October we went to a car show in Austin,
Yeah.
and there were groups of women there that were looking for men with money. Well, one part that I didn't talk about was that these same groups of women were also taking pictures next to or in these fancy cars. And
Yeah.
so, and I pure speculation here is that I would probably guess that those pictures went on social media, right? Or
Yeah.
they went on the gram, and it gives this perception that, oh, I'm in circles that I'm not really in, or I'm in places that I really am not. Maybe I'm passing through a town, right? Because I'm traveling to go somewhere else, but I take a picture next to whatever and I post it on the gram. And so people who are maybe not in those situations where they can afford to um have a fancy car or experience a nice place or go do this or go do that, you know, they're looking at their partner like, why can't we do that?
Yes.
You know, I want to go have fun. I want to be, as you said, outside. I want to drive a fancy car. I want to do all of these things. But then, you know, the reality of it is that person who made those posts aren't really doing that either. And
Hey, hey,
so
hey, Warren, I got somebody who is I'm close to. I'm close to. And we had a discussion about this not too long ago. Now, this person went on a trip 3 years ago and took a boatload of pictures. But this person is periodically releasing pictures in every 3 to 4 minute, three to 4 month clip to make it look like they hitting these spots all the time.
hey, listen, I know somebody that's like really close that does the same thing. They randomly post stuff, and I'm like, oh snap, they in New York? And then the reality of it is, nah, they ain't in New York. They back in their hometown. They just took those pictures back when they went to New York last year and just didn't release them.
Exactly.
And
But
and
but
so
but this person, but this person, another trip, another. I'm like, wait a minute, you was just. Oh, okay, okay. I saw what you would do, but yeah, I ain't pull them out on social media, but you know what I'm saying. They got their call from it. Man, that's the picture from 3 years ago, and they couldn't do nothing but laugh.
so why do you think that there's so much focus on the excitement piece of a relationship? And obviously, I think that this is more prevalent in the younger generation than it is probably more as once you get into your late 30s and your 40s, when you start struggling just to get out of bed.
There used to be one. There used to be.
I, listen, I was in my 20s, your boy was outside. I
Yeah.
was at the club Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and if we ain't had work on Monday or Tuesday, I was in the club then too. Now, listen, I be in the bed by like 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Hey, on a Friday, as
Yeah,
we
and,
should.
and and if I even try to go out to the club, I'm paying for it the next day.
Yeah. But
So
dog,
I just,
I haven't been to the club in so long.
hey, and listen, like I don't keep people around me. I go to work, I come home, you know. So that whole excitement piece don't really do nothing for me in my 40s.
Nope.
You know, I'm more focused on, okay, I make this amount of money. I'm trying to get to I'm trying to level up to the next level, right?
Yeah.
I'm focused on how do I build my business? How do I improve my podcast? How do I get better at editing videos? How do I, what type of cameras do I need? All of these different things that is different type of excitement.
Yeah.
Like I get excited about the prospect of doubling my income and, um setting my family up to be able to do certain things and like I'm excited that on Friday I go pick up my kids because they coming in town for 2 weeks for Christmas. Like those type of things are exciting to me.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is way too much emphasis on excitement?
It's from a male standpoint, we tell the young guys when they talk about Unc, you're getting old. And the first thing we tell them, man, you wish you could make it to this age. And that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why male car insurance is higher and life insurance is higher for males because we tend to, in our younger days, youthful days, we lived on the edge. We did some wild stuff. And so we got our excitement. You know what I'm saying? We a lot of us got our excitement out. So when we hit our late 30s and 40s, like you said, you get your happiness and your excitement from seeing your kids walk through that door. What up, pops? Well, that smile get big. You know what I'm saying? And you start thinking about what you're gonna do with your sons. Go and take pictures. You know what I'm saying? Go have a dad and daughter dinner with your baby girl. You know what I'm saying? That's what excites us now. But these false narratives of these women on these boats and on these trips and on these things, you know what I'm saying, get these women to feel like, hey, they missing something out their life. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the single sweetie, but it has come out that her lifestyle, she was what they call a number two princess over in Dubai. And for those who don't know what a number two princess is that if most of these
Yeah,
girls they be
we
yeah,
know.
yeah. So they she's been over there a few times. And that's how she got her lifestyle. Because the music wasn't popping anymore. And so and the killer part about it, they recruit other girls to come into this. And so these girls be looking for the excitement and not knowing the things that you have to do for the excitement. And then when they get over there, they whole little life change and everything because they want to be excited. They want to be on the yacht. They want to be on the yacht. They want to ride the camels. They want to say, hey, I done been here. Hey, I got a certain type of man spending money on me. That's the new flex, as per se. And so I'm flexing that I can go to Dubai. I'm flexing that what happens for me to go to Dubai now, I can come home and I can, you know what I'm saying, buy this and buy that. But then as they get older and those demons start to come, they don't know how to react to it. So you get those women that says, I don't know why I left my man. I don't know why I did this. But the enticement, seeing other women do stuff that you're not doing, but you feel like you're doing. Why? Because either you think you're pretty enough, you think that you got the education enough to afford, you think you got a job to afford to do. But whatever it is, you see another woman doing it, and you like, oh my God, I gotta do that.
So I think that when you think about the structure of relationships, whether it be long-term relationships, short-term relationships, you know, even situationships to some degree, you know, there's a bit of excitement wrapped into it when you're in the beginning phases of those relationships, because there's that bit of unknown, right?
Mhm.
Um, I think that if you don't go into a relationship focused on that individual
Mhm.
versus what they can and cannot do for you, or what they can and cannot bring to your life. And this goes for both men and women, because men get into relationships chasing the box, and they, what's the crazier the better. That's in
You
itself
know
that in itself is chasing a certain level of excitement, right? Because
it.
she gonna be super toxic, or they think that because the more toxic she is, the higher the better, the box is, which
Yeah.
that's a crazy way of thinking. But,
Boy.
you know, crazy attract crazy. So to each his
Yeah.
own. But oftentimes those relationships don't necessarily last, or they don't ever get past a situationship because there's no real foundation to try to build a relationship off of.
Hey, well, don't act like you ain't had you a crazy one.
I did. Especially, I had a couple of them, especially after my divorce. But, 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 with that being said, I was not looking at that point in time. I was not looking for a relationship, so
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to set a foundation to build a relationship on. It was just, I'm trying to get the feeling or feel myself out in the streets again at that point in time, and so you know, recently coming off of a divorce, yeah, I was out there in the streets and I dealt with some crazy ones. Some ones that when you look back, you're like, I don't even know why I was even dealing
Why?
with you.
Why?
But keep in mind, at that point in time, I was fully aware that a relationship was not something that I was trying to build. And
Yeah.
we I never dealt with them long enough to even have a relationship type of conversation with them.
Yeah.
Or I did have that conversation that, hey, I'm not really looking for a relationship. This is how I'm moving, this is how I'm operating. Either you're cool with it or you're not. But if you're actively looking for a relationship, that is a horrible
Yes.
start to trying to build a relationship with that person. And 9 out of 10 times, it's never actually going to get to a relationship. It's gonna
No.
it's gonna begin as a situationship and end as a situationship.
Yep.
But
Yep.
during that time frame, it'll be exciting. And it's funny
Exciting.
because I released a video earlier today where the first video I released was about identifying the leadership styles in relationships, right? And then the one that I released today, it was talking about how those leadership styles show up in relationships. And what I it's funny because I was talking about how an authoritarian person and an
Yeah.
authoritarian person get together, and um they it's chaos because they both want control, but it's a lot of um hot chemistry, a lot of sparks flying, but it doesn't really go anywhere because
Yeah.
no one actually takes the lead and no one actually sets the foundation for a relationship to actually be built on. And so I just thought that was kind of interesting, as I was actually going through that video. But
Yeah.
going back to um, being bored, do you think that? Well, I know that you would probably agree with me, but to what level do you think that the false perceptions that are created on social media have or let me ask you this way. Due to the false perceptions that are created on social media, do you think that we will be able to course correct how relationships are established and
No.
be
No.
able to get
No.
get you don't think so?
No. Because we
Why
getting
not?
AI, baby. We get AI. We get AI, baby. And AI is just going to push people farther and farther away from reality than what it is. You know what
Explain
I'm saying?
your thoughts.
Um, Not, I give it 5 years. We're gonna have people in here talk about they have AI, they gonna be in AI relationships.
I mean, what is that? What do you think that would actually look like?
They'll be there, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be in person. They're gonna get online, and this AI person thing, generated picture of something is gonna, how was your day, baby? Oh, da, 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 da. Oh, how are you doing this? No, nothing's going to be met outside of validation. That's all that's going to be met. And that AI is going to be there to let you just say that you're right, that your feelings are valid, that everything that you're doing, is going to, and that's in some cases that's all some people need. They Some people don't really want the physical aspect of a relationship. Some people don't want the financial commitment. So if I can get this thing, you know what I'm saying, to basically stroke the endorphins in my head to have them exploding by always agreeing with me and making me feel the best I can as soon as I log in, man,
But do
man.
you? I to some degree, I agree with you. I think that I think that you're on par with how things are potentially going, but I think that AI is going to affect more men in relationships than they are women in relationships because women right now hold the upper hand, right? They're holding the big jokers because statistics show that roughly 1 in 3 men in are not in relationships, or
Yeah,
they are in a relationships in a sexless relationship, and we
yeah.
know the corn industry is geared more towards men, and it's geared towards those lonely men who aren't having relationships with women, or they're in relationships and they're having sexless relationships or marriage. So I think that the AI would be
But that's
geared more towards men. So how do you
no,
think
no,
that it would
but see,
affect women?
that's what I'm saying. Because since the men we are already dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? We have corn, you know what I'm saying? We have all this other stuff. Women don't want that. They want that agreement. So if they can log on to an AI app and that AI boyfriend tell them they're perfect. You know what I'm saying? They doing it. They're the ones that's gonna be like, okay, I don't need a man.
But I gotta disagree with you here because they're already getting it right now. So the average woman,
They they
yeah,
they
the
they
average
already
woman, the average woman can log into her Instagram and she posts a half decent looking picture with maybe her chest showing, and she can get all the attention that she wants.
uh-huh.
So I don't necessarily know if trying to get that
But
validation through AI is
no,
gonna be a
no,
thing.
no, no, because it's going to be a thing from AI because now they're going to design the individual. Because I was having this conversation in the messages about a young man, and it could roll onto this guy, all these guys. She posted pictures of all these guys, and I was just like, dude, she's not going to reply to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't meet her visually what she thinks that she's supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you the world. Guy, look at you, dude. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing with with lonely men. See, lonely men don't have other men around them to say, dude, look at you, man. You ugly. You fat. You did so they don't really have that. So that's why they feel comfortable to log on and say those little things, even though this woman has you every picture that you post, she posts, they own it. These same guys are saying the same thing. And it's just like, dude, how many times do you have to realize you saying this, she's not picking you because you're not visually what she thinks in her head that she's supposed to have. So with AI, she can visually make what she feels like she's supposed to have in her head.
Yeah, but here's the question: what is that? What is that gonna do for her? Because check where I'm going with this. It's the tangible things that women seek, right?
Mm-hmm.
Provision, finances, security, all of these things. Those are tangible things that you can lay eyes on, put your hands on, right? Money,
Yeah.
security, and the guy is either security is provided either by a gun or his physical prowess, right?
Uh-huh.
AI, having an AI generated guy that is visually appealing to her is not really going to do much for her because she's already getting that. Where
Okay. Okay.
guys, hold on, follow me on this. Guys, if I'm not getting any attention from any woman, whether she's attractive or unattractive, right? Because maybe I'm not the best looking guy, or maybe I'm not the most visually appealing, or that I don't have my life together. I don't make six figures. I don't have 6 inches. I'm not 6 foot or whatever it is, right? I can log into whatever AI system, create my dream girl, and maybe have her do what I think that I would want her to do for me, even though there's nothing really tangible that she's actually going to be able to provide. It's just the same as corn, right?
Uh-huh.
You ain't touching her. You
Uh-huh.
can't do nothing with her but look at her. But
Uh-huh.
it's um fulfilling, even if it's not in a positive way. It's still fulfilling
Uh-huh.
for you. So I still can't get
Okay.
on board with your
Let me bring it
direction
home
as far
to
as a
you.
woman. Okay, so go
Let me,
ahead.
let me bring it home to you. During COVID, and what was the big scandal with women during COVID?
Don't know.
Don't know. All right. They had the whole little documentary uh, about the guy who none of these women seen. He scammed money from them. He did. He did.
The Netflix thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So now you say women finances, protections, and all that, and other. Now this one guy had 40 women, 40, and a lot of them, and some of them was pretty women, doctors, and they wasn't just old. These were pretty women. Never seen this guy face. He would just they'd just talk on the phone. And now for all that protection, provision, and everything, because women now see themselves as their own protection. I make my own money. I get me a pit bull. I do this here and everything there. Those tangibles, these women has been fighting since the 70s about being strong, being a strong woman. So those tangibles are out the door now. So these women, without seeing this man, buying trips and giving this money to this here and all this other stuff, they got used in it. So why wouldn't they, if I can go create me something that because obviously it wasn't because of the physical, because they didn't see him, they didn't have physical sexual intercourse with him. All he did was validate their things and play on their emotions. Why wouldn't it be for a woman to go there?
See, hey, listen, you're not making a good argument. I'm just because those type of women are so far and few. There's not
You
there's
think
there,
that,
no
bro?
hold on.
Bro, you think that? You think that? You
No,
think that?
because there's a part of it that you're forgetting. A, that that dude got scammed him out of money.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm remembering it correctly, they
Yeah.
scammed him out of money. And how many women in general got money like that? The average woman, the average woman in the United States makes somewhere in between 33 to $40,000 a year.
And that's what and that what it was, and that's what they was talking about. The next, I don't have this kind of money. I thought that we was building something. He was getting the money. We was going to build a relationship together and blah blah. That's what they was saying. That's what they was saying. They didn't have the money. That's what they were saying. These wasn't rich women.
I mean, they had some money.
Well, most women are better savers than men. So even though they like 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 my mom at her height, highest grossing was probably around about $19 an hour. But my mama saved her money. And my mama had a lot of saved up. So women save better than men. Now, now we got these ones who were just frivolous. We're seeing now these younger ones now who are living check to check or man to man now. But most women do save more money than men. But yeah, these women were these wasn't, you know what I'm saying, CEOs and project managers. You know what I'm saying? One girl, she was a I didn't understand how she had the money to send the guy $25,000. You know what I'm saying? But she was working her way through college to be a lawyer. I'm like, you a lawyer? You trying to be a lawyer? Who ain't nobody finna hire you now?
But hold on. So you said something that kind of contradicts your argument. They were seeking and in hopes that they were going to get a relationship. And the guy, if I remember correct, if I'm thinking about the same story that you're thinking about, he presented himself as a guy with money. Is the is like the British dude or I forgot
Yeah,
what he presented himself as having money, kind of like the bachelor type of scenario where he got money and he's looking for a wife, and somehow they fell underneath whatever particular charm that he laid out for them, and they started sending them money. So, but what they were hoping to get out of it was a tangible relationship with him, right? To go
mhm.
on and have some fancy life. Now, back to the AI discussion. How are you going to get a tangible relationship from a
Oh,
created AI?
okay, and that's what I'm saying. They was wishing. Now, some of these relationships lasted 2, 3 years. Never seen the guy. No FaceTime. You know what I'm saying? He was the pictures that he was sending wasn't of him. So they was wishing, never seen him. Now I'm a lonely woman. I'm tired of men coming in and out of my life using me for sex and money and stuff. Let me. I want him to have a beard. I want him to. Okay, you know what I'm saying, a couple tattoos on his arm. Okay, I want to have a nice, smooth, you know what I'm saying, mountain man voice. Let me type that in. Boom, 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 boom. Enter. My God. And he's saying, and he's having an intelligent conversation with him. So what did you do? Well, I went to work today and I did this, and the Gail was at work and she would say, oh, for real, baby. Oh, baby, you know. Man.
That's a so I I'm gonna give you two perspectives, right? Where this could possibly work. All right. Number one is see, she has reached the lowest levels of loneliness to where she just wants general interaction with someone, and it doesn't even have to be physical, right?
Yeah.
So in that scenario, I could see it, right? we're
Uh-huh.
we're 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 ironing this thing out. So in that scenario, I could see it. On the other scenario is a similar scenario that to what we were just talking about, to where a guy goes in using AI, creates a AI person to find women with money to scam them out of money, right? And
Uh-huh.
it's still those women who are the lowest, who are at the lowest levels of loneliness. Like that's the
Mhm.
only way that I could see that being a thing. Because what I think, and maybe I don't know, but in my head, the average woman who
Mhm.
gets an absorbent amount of attention
Mhm.
is not really going to be interested in that.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
especially, you know, women who can
But you got to realize, one, the average woman also is competing against the above average woman, and she's not even though she's average, and either the below average women get guys, you know what I'm saying crazy thing. She knows, like a lot of these Instagram, you know what I'm saying, high part women, they only gonna do that on the gram because they know if they go out in public, they're not going to be chosen by the people in public.
they
They
what,
know
what
that.
no, they actually can. And here's why I say that, because
A
there
lot of them
are
just got big butts,
hold on,
Juan. A
hold on,
lot
hold
of
on,
them
hold
just
on,
got
hold on,
big butts.
track with me here. A
The
lot of them
face don't
can't be,
match.
a
The
lot of
face
them
don't
can't,
match the butt.
that's irrelevant. And here's the reason why, is because they can go out and attract the below average to average man. The problem is that they don't pay that man attention. But if they did, they could scoop him up real fast and in a hurry. Because that's a lot. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. There's a lot of dudes out here that are not visually attractive. They don't present themselves as having money. They don't, they're Walmart workers or Burger King workers, and they look like Burger King workers and Walmart workers, right? They may be great guys, but the below to average woman is not going to pay them attention. Why? Because in their mind they believe that they deserve something better. But if
That's,
they
and that's what
actually
I'm saying.
but if
But
they
that, but that,
actually operated on their level, they would have
yeah.
they could find a relationship.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why with AI, they don't have to operate on that level. I can get the man that I think I'm supposed to have, and I
How?
don't have to, because I can create him.
But you don't get anything tangible.
That's what I'm saying. The lonely man can go to a strip club and get some, he can pay for some touches. The lonely woman can't. So they are at birth to understand that I can I can be a lonely woman and be celibate for the rest of my life around cats and do all this other stuff because they don't have an outlet like men do. We have we have the corn, we have the strip, we have outlets to satisfy their craving. They don't have a lot of outlets like that. So once a woman makes up in her mind that she don't want the physical or nothing else, she just want the validation. She will create that perfect person who's going to validate everything emotionally that she wanted. And it's going to be visually the person that she feels like that she deserves visually in her mind. She's not going to create no ugly AI man.
So
You
so
know
here's
this.
hold on. So here's where, and this is a great dialogue, right? Because we're not agreeing with each other, and, but I don't think, right, and I could be wrong because I'm not a woman, and
Yeah,
I can't process the way that process the way that women think because I'm not a woman. But
yeah.
I don't think that women actually actively think about validation. I think that it's just something that's naturally ingrained in them,
Yeah.
and that they just operate from that mode. I think in order for the AI thing to actually be a thing, they would have to actually be actively thinking that I need validation. I
Okay. Now, it was on TikTok, and this old school rapper, Sugar Free. He said this, and he says, "What is the last stage of a woman?" And not just a woman, the last stage of a promiscuous woman,
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
the Christian woman. That's the last stage. He didn't say promiscuous. He said the word,
Yeah.
and and he said the last stage.
So that's the final boss.
That's the final boss. Is the, is the final boss is a religious woman. Why? Because what they know about religion and Jesus and everything, no matter how wrong they are, you know what I'm saying, they would never be turned away. So if I can create something that's never going to turn me away, never going to tell me I'm wrong, never going to tell me it's my fault, never going to hold me accountable, do you think that it will be a man to do that first or a woman to do that first?
Hold on, say the question one more time.
If I can create something that's never going to hold me accountable, never going to say that I'm wrong, never going to say that, hey, you can do better. Out of the male and female species, who will be the first one to create that?
I don't think that it's that simple, but just
Sometimes
just going
sometimes it is that simple,
just
and,
going
and
off
we
of
don't
those
know.
just going off of those parameters per se, I would
Mhm,
probably say that those type of things are geared more towards women.
mhm. And that's my point. When women get to a certain age, i.e., maybe be sexual intercourse, or they just tired of dating the wrong. They keep saying the man is the wrong man and wrong, and I'm tired. I'm tired. Because that's all you see on Al Gore's internet. but,
So,
but
so hey, so all right, check this out. Who do you think can go through life without getting physical touch? Do you think a man can survive in life without physical touch, or do you think a woman can survive without physical
a
touch?
woman, a woman.
I disagree, and here's why I say that. Because what's one or two things that most women who are quote unquote done with relationships that they have?
They have a girlfriend.
No.
They have a toy.
No, you're thinking about sexual.
Okay,
Just thinking from a physical touch standpoint.
physical touch.
They either have dogs or cats.
True, true. Dog
So
or
they
cat.
a lot of single women have those teacup Yorkies or those little dogs or they got cats if they're into those type of things.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of a lot of single guys they don't have they're struggling to get relationships or maybe they're not whatever they fall in whatever category. They don't necessarily have dogs or cats. There are some, but
But they,
if you had to compare the two to each other, there's going to be a
but
lot
we
more
got,
women with dogs and cats than there would be men.
but we got Magic City though, dog.
But
We
a
got
lot
King
of
of Diamonds.
listen, a lot of dudes don't be up in Magic City or up in a strip club like that.
Not on a Saturday night with the ballers, but Monday through Thursday, they are.
But most of those guys are old guys who are beyond who, you know, they might die in in 3 years.
Hey, coming from a person who was a King of Diamonds and Magic City connoisseur. No, that used to be 30s and 40s in that now.
Just think about it, right? Think about
Yeah.
how many males there are, and in relation to how many strip clubs there are. The ratio is not gonna match up.
Yes, it's very imbalanced. Also, now, because the way the world is shaped up, you ain't got to go to the strip club now and pay the 200. Outside, it only costs you 40.
Still, the ratio is there's not enough. There's not enough. There are more dudes who got Betty Palm and her 5 sisters that they deal with on a on a daily and nightly basis because hey,
Hey,
listen, it's free and it don't cost you anything. Because you gotta remember, a lot of dudes ain't got money like that.
you're right. You're right. Okay.
And
All right.
so
Well,
they can't
since
afford
you
to be
put it
up in the
down.
strip club, but they can't afford to be out there dealing with the girls on Fifth and Main. I mean, I don't know
You
where Fifth and Main is,
okay,
but that's just 2 random streets. And
okay,
so
okay.
guys are more positioned to be alone. Hey, remember this. And I'm gonna take it there for a second. Men started out in this world alone.
Yeah.
God decided that it wasn't good for man to be alone and gave them gave Adam Eve. So men
Mm-hmm.
started out alone.
Mm-hmm.
Eve was never alone. So women were never made to be alone. Men originally started out alone.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you see what I did there, huh?
Yeah, I, and there lies your answer. Because they wasn't meant to be alone. When they are alone, it messes with them differently than it do men. It messes with them differently than it do men. Because you're right, they're not designed to be alone. So, you know what I'm saying? Because they have those hormonal things about birth and giving, and that's why majority of the same-sex couples are women and women. Because you're right, they're not designed to be alone. And so when that pressure of being alone hits too hard, they set aside those parameters and and that's when to me they go into that I'm just gonna surround myself with things that's gonna validate everything right about me. That's why those big women get, you know what I'm saying, on my 600-pound life, they they use food. They know food not gonna say no to them. So they just continue to eat, and eat, and eat. Tonight, one day they can't wake up and they can't get out of bed. So now they reserve themselves. I know no man gonna want me. So what am I gonna do? That's what I'm saying. Yes, it might take them to get there for it to happen, but no matter how lonely of the man is from the opposite sex, a man gonna always have his boys. and his boy
Boy, listen.
and his boys are going to, you know what I'm saying, at some point in time, motivate him to course correct. You know what I'm saying? Hey
So
man, you got to get this.
listen. All right, as you was talking, I kind of got this, and I think once I explain it to you, I think you'll agree with me here.
Okay.
So, from a big picture perspective,
Yeah.
your idea for how women would, kind of go into these AI relationships is using validation as their standpoint, as their barrier of entry, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I kind of had this idea, and the reason why I strongly think that it wouldn't necessarily work, not to say that there wouldn't be cases of it, but
Uh-huh.
the difference between men using AI for relationship purposes and women using the AI for relationship purposes would be very different, is because the world and society already validates women, right? As a whole.
Mhm.
And then men in general validate women, good, bad, or indifferent, right? So there are multitude of avenues that they can get validation from. So in order for them to get to the point to where they would be using um, AI as a source of validation, it would have to be that their self-esteem and their self-worth would be at an all-time low. And to the point to where they have just decided that the below average man ain't good enough, the average man ain't good enough, and the above average man ain't good enough, and that seeking a female partner isn't good enough. Dogs and cats ain't good enough, because you think about it from this perspective. AI is just your imagination that talks to you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
guys would be more likely to be susceptible or entertained by that, because they could create their dream girl, and that
Uh-huh.
dream girl is going to talk to them and kind of finesse their ego, because you got to remember, guys are ego driven. So anybody that finesses their ego, anybody or anything that finesses their ego would be able to speak to them. And
Uh-huh.
especially on the trend that we're on, it definitely would be more geared towards men. Not to say that women wouldn't, but I think the number of women and the type of women, it would be very select.
You are totally correct. You know what I'm saying? Especially how you broke it down about all this had to pass, and no more women, no more below average men, no more cats, no more dogs, to finally get there. Now we both been married. We both been married when our women going through birth. How many stages do a woman gives you in 9 months?
Three. There's three trimesters.
No, 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 no. Emotional stages.
Oh, dude, you can't count that. That's every day you get 10 to 12
That's
different
what.
emotions.
So that's what I'm saying. So women naturally jump in and out of stages. So it doesn't take too much for them to get from zero to the end and to say, "Hey, I'm done." Women break up relationship marriages and say, "I'm done," for less. That's my argument about the thing. I know that they're going to get there quicker than we are. Yes, they have more stages to jump through. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to get there quicker because one day she could come. All it takes is another bad relationship. That's all it's really going to take. Take a guy, meet a girl. She thinks she done met her beau. He says, I don't really know, but then she feels mad because damn, she didn't gave him the box, and because she thought she had him, and he's like, no. So now she feel, and she's off the rocker. I'm done with men. I'm done. That's all it takes.
Okay, so again, as you was talking, I can where I can agree with you to some degree. And here's where I can agree with you at is first off where I disagree with you is that it's already set up for men. It's already set up for men. All they
Yeah,
would have to do is
OnlyFans.
introduce it because like of the statistic that I told you that 1 in 3 men are not in a relationship, are virgins, haven't been with somebody or in sexless marriage. So it's already set up for those men. If they had it available, they would probably be using it. Where I think that women, women could potentially take over and push it off to the moon is if number one, that statistic increases because that means even more men are not being looked at as suitable partners.
We're
And then,
not.
hold on. So it would have to increase, right? Maybe to 60, 65, 70%. And then, and then there would have to be a switch to where things on this end with men would have to be so satisfying that the women, the physical woman, no longer becomes an option. And they're like, I don't even want to entertain you. So then women have zero options left. And then they would have, that's when they would really start to entertain that.
You're totally right with the number game, but one, we already there. 80% of the men, all right, the women already outnumber men in this world.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? By over a billion. Yeah, I think it's 5.7. I mean 3.7 billion men, and it's 4.7, 4.8 billion women on it. So they already outnumber us. All right. 80% of the men on this earth or or either average or below. Even you stated even the below average don't want the average or below. All right, they gonna shoot for the above average top, even because and the top already know, well, hey, I can come down here and mingle and just make babies and play and blah 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 because I know I'm not committed to these here. All right. So we're already there. We're already in the number games that you are displaying, which are totally correct. So if a woman has in her mind at 30, 40, 50, that the man that's in her visual dating pool is still not good for her, what's the next course of action? I can go make it. I'm telling you, it's going. You remember Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Mm-hmm.
Where you can walk in, create your vacation. You can create the kind of woman that you want on your vacation.
Yeah, but that was create the type of woman that you
Okay,
want.
hold on. All right, yes, it because the movie was done in the mid '80s, Total Recall. So
Yep.
so women was totally objectified back then in the '80s like this. So yes, and the movie was about a man. But when they came out with Total Recall, the reboot, and it was a woman, they basically did the same thing for a woman. You can create your own man.
Now, so are you okay? So I guess we're probably thinking about AI in two different perspectives. You're thinking about You're thinking about like down the road type of AI.
I'm thinking 5 to 6 years because AI is moving quickly.
That I
It is
agree.
moving. It is moving quickly. And dude, I've seen this guy put out AI music videos. So if you can create a lot of these commercials that we have on YouTube are AI generated commercials with these men's and women's. You don't tell me within 5 or 10 some dating app is going to create the way you can create your own person.
Okay, so
And that person,
I guess the part that I'm missing is how does the physical aspect come into play, right?
there's
And
no physical. There's no physical. The only thing that hurts that deals with physical is men because until we 80 or 90, it doesn't matter. You know, sometimes after menopause with women, they don't really deal. The physical is not really part of their life anymore anyway. Well, up until our dying day, we can still get physical, and we still want to get physical. So that's another reason
yeah,
that it's
but
going
as
to.
I explained, Betty Palm and her five sisters
Yes, yes,
helps alleviate that, and the use
yes,
of visual
yes.
aids takes
But
helps.
but with the woman, because they don't, when they reach a certain point, they don't want, don't aspire for that physical. Those conversations that the AI generated partner that they can just pick up on their cell phone. Let me call my man, FaceTiming, and that AI generated picks up. That's going to happen.
I can't see that. Now,
Yeah.
if you I for guys, I can see that for sure. Like, because guys are simple like that.
Yeah.
And
We so simple. We still got the blow up doll, so we can go get the
now
blow up doll.
that's where that you just touched on it. Now, I think if you have AI created sex dolls, I think probably it would be equal as far as men and women, the creation and the usage of those. Because as you know, women have an array of toys that they readily use. And some of it is kind of weird because a girl strapping on a dildo
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
smash another woman is like she's a man. It's kind of weird, to each his own. But if you could have a doll come in, because here's the thing, right? Or not a doll, but like AI generated or a customized robot doll that can come in and kind of act as a male counterpart and have
Yeah.
that same sort of similar functionality. I can see that type of thing being something that women would gravitate towards.
Hey, what I love about Al Gore's internet, every conversation that we had within a week, the topic that we have, videos pop up, and I send them to you. Just watch.
Now, hey,
Just
let me
watch.
ask you a question. Do you agree or disagree with that thought
Oh,
process?
I totally agree with you. Oh, dog.
I think that would probably be where both men
Oh,
and women would probably have some sort of equal.
I'm not even rocking with Elon, but if Elon made one of those, dog, I'm getting me one.
Hey, bro, you wild for that. Hey, listen, might be a little bit more quieter and easier to deal with. I'm just kidding, but I'm really not.
Yeah. Man, my phone about to die, man.
Hey, this was a pretty good discussion. We had a lot of going back and forth. Uh,
Yeah.
Big G, where can they find you?
Why Smart 22 on the gram. I just approved about 25 people. Had to do my vetting process. Thank you guys for following. Yes, y'all already start interacting and laughing with your boy. Yeah, because I share some wild stuff too. But Wise and Smart 22 on the gram. That's me.
All right, and for anybody who's trying to get in touch with me, my information is down in the description. I want to thank all of our brand new subscribers. We're up to 2,500 subscribers now, pushing towards 3,000. Thank you guys. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, push the notifications, and share so that we can get this information out to people who are interested in hearing what we have to say. We will continue to be dropping a video with me and Big G once a week, somewhere
Yes,
in
indeed.
between Wednesday and Friday. And I push out educational videos periodically throughout the week or my reaction videos to things that I think need my reaction or need my thought process on periodically throughout the week. And lastly, if you haven't had a chance, my book is available on Amazon. The book is titled The Aligned, I'm sorry, it's titled Aligned Love, The Modern Guide to Finding and Building Fulfilling Relationships. And with that being said, I am Coach Robinson Juanito, and that is Big G. Signing off. Y'all have a good night.
Night night.